Welcome to episode 4 of In the 305 with Chairman Gilbert. This is the show where we discuss important topics impacting our community. I'm your host, Oliver Gilbert III, the chairman of the Board of County Commissioners here in Miami-Dade County and the County Commissioner for District 1. In this episode, we take a look at Miami-Dade County, the host committee for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. That's going on right here in our backyard. Now, from big games we've hosted numerous times before, like the Super Bowl and Miami Open, to new ones, like Formula One and, of course, the World Cup. Are we ready? And what are the biggest challenges our county's facing when dealing with hosting these games? We'll talk to experts and hear from you out on the streets as we discuss big sports in South Florida.
I look forward to a lot of the events, whether they're hosting the Formula One, Super Bowl, different things like that.
Soccer is the best one for me because we enjoy, as South American people, Venezuela, I love soccer, so I wish more soccer teams and players come here to bring more excitement to that sports.
The F1 is exciting, very much so. And then now that we're spending more time here, the football, love pro football.
The World Cup.
Tonight, we're at Hard Rock Stadium, home to some of the most memorable sporting events in South Florida. We'll meet Tom Garfinkel, CEO of the Miami Dolphins and this incredible establishment, Hard Rock Stadium. We will talk to Lisa Loda-Perlo, the CEO of the FIFA Miami Host Committee. That's the organization that's bringing the World Cup to us. But first, we begin with Roderick Miller, the president and CEO of the Miami-Dade Beacon Council, the official economic development organization for Miami-Dade County. So, Mr. Miller, Rod,
yes.
We're starting the discussion with you because we want to talk about one of the most important factors in hosting something like the FIFA 2026 World Cup, all of those games over that long period of time, and that's the economic impact. What type of economic impact does this have on the South Florida economy?
You're talking about billions of dollars a year in impact. So the impact is pretty incredible. And what's interesting about this, so you've got impact on multiple levels. One layer of impact, of course, is the direct people coming and spending money, but it's also the room nights, it's also the shopping that's done in the region. So it'll have multiple impacts, as well as it positions us for further investment. So it's a huge win for us, not just small businesses, but small businesses and large businesses. It's a ripple effect across the economy.
Okay, so because a lot of times when we talk about the economy of South Florida, people think of all of these big things, but you and I know that the economy of South Florida is actually the big things, but mostly we're comprised of really family shops, mom and pop shops. Will those mom and pop shops also benefit from FIFA World Cup coming to South Florida?
They will probably be the biggest beneficiaries of FIFA World Cup coming to Miami. There's a few things that are interesting. One, so 82,000 small businesses in Miami-Dade County. Those 82,000 small businesses represent over 80% of the businesses in Miami-Dade County, and they represent over 50% of the employment. So small businesses are not just part of the economy; they're a key driver of the economy. And this opportunity is particularly important for them because they'll have direct contracting opportunities throughout the stuff related to the event, but they will also have opportunities to market and sell and reposition their stuff from a marketing perspective.
Okay, so it's not just the people coming and staying in all the big hotels and eating in all the nice restaurants. It's everybody who goes to work. And you could be in that business that you started with your wife and your kids work there and you hired a couple more employees. This actually has an opportunity to impact your bottom line also.
That's exactly right. So when you're looking at the contractors that are providing food, that are providing other tourism services, there's a lot of that. The groups that are doing the copies, and that are doing the other printed materials for it. So when I say this ripple effect, it really impacts everyone, and it impacts people where they live. So you're talking about the difference between a business maybe hiring 2 or 3 additional employees is the kind of impact this one event can have.
So when you said it impacts, businesses like the people doing the printing, that's great because it kind of dovetails into the next question. I was going to ask about people who don't work in hospitality. A lot of times we have this idea that, well, when these big, things come and these big events come and we talk about is tourism dollars, we think it only affects you and the economy if you work in hospitality, if you work at a hotel, if you work at a restaurant, if you work at one of the hospitality tourism type shops or businesses or industries. Is that true?
No, and what's interesting about this, you can pick any business, and I can tell you that it will have impact. So for example, in the case of Beacon Council, we're responsible for driving jobs and investment and bringing new companies here. When we're looking at the FIFA World Cup event, we're like, okay, we want to bring in probably 10 to 15 companies that we've been focused on helping. Now, what are going to be the impacts of us bringing in those companies? We're going to be using a shuttle service and stuff for the companies and for the executives. We're going to be buying food and those sorts of things, but we're also going to be trying to connect those businesses to local businesses in Miami that would be their partners as they try to expand into this marketplace. And so that's just one example. But we're not the only ones. When I talk to the healthcare companies, the hospitals rather, when I talk to the large utilities, everybody's trying to figure out how do we leverage this to actually grow our economy more.
I'm a lifelong resident here, and I've seen Miami grow a great deal. And I have to say that our major league sports and our big international sporting events are a huge part of that.
Everybody's gonna be trying to be here, and it's gonna be good for our businesses and our people living in here, you know?
It's good for business. It's good for it's good for the environment here. I mean, it's exciting. Miami's an exciting city anyway. So when you add F1 and Super Bowls and soccer matches and everything else, given the cosmopolitan nature of this town, it's exciting.
It's a great way for us to be able to showcase Miami and to showcase especially Miami Beach. We're an amazing city. Weather is just wonderful all year round, and it just puts us in a positive light. So I look forward to these sporting events.
What goes into hosting major events here at the stadium? It's not just football, it's not just soccer, it's not just Formula One, it's not just tennis, it's not just concert, it's everything. What goes into that?
Well, it starts with a commitment from our owner, from Steve Ross, and who's now put really over $1 billion of private investment into the stadium to make it world class. It starts with community partners and leaders to help us get those deals done, to bring in those big events, and wanting this to be a global entertainment destination, wanting to bring the world and the world's biggest talent to Miami Gardens. I don't think there's anywhere in the world that can say they've had Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen and Serena and Roger Federer and Messi and Neymar and Jay-Z and Beyonce and Taylor Swift and the NFL, Super Bowls, national championship games, now the World Cup coming, et cetera. So it starts with that commitment, and then it takes just a great team of people that we have here, led by Todd Boyan, who runs the stadium for us, and it's an amazing team of people that are able to transform this place, week to week, month to month, into all these different variations of itself.
You mentioned a lot of things. What's your favorite? Is it Formula One? Is it tennis?
My favorite, without question, the most important thing we do here is Miami Dolphins football games. So, for me, I'm most looking forward to this season. Coach McDaniel's doing a great job, and the team that Chris Greer and Brandon Shore have built, and every year is hope springs eternal. We're undefeated right now, and I look forward to Miami Dolphins football more than anything else.
Listen, before we started, I told somebody, I don't know what his favorite is, but mine is Miami Dolphins football. That's what it is, because I was born and raised here in Miami Gardens. I remember when the stadium was built, and so the Dolphins have a way of giving us hope every year and us being excited every year. And I really think this is our year. So for everybody watching, I think this is our year. I think we're going to get it done this year.
From your lips to God's ears.
Yeah. So when people visit, you have thousands and thousands of people visit here. What type of partnerships go into making sure that everyone's safe here? Like, what type of coordinations do you do?
Well, safety is really our number one priority. People ask me in my role, what keeps you up at night? And I heard someone say one time, I don't do things that keep me up at night. But the one thing that keeps me up at night is making sure everybody's safe. And so, we work very closely with Miami Gardens Police, Miami-Dade PD, Highway Patrol, Miami-Dade Fire and Rescue, et cetera, et cetera. And we invest heavily in security. We want it to be kind of behind the scenes. We want people to, not know some of the things we're doing here, but hopefully the bad guys know. We make it as hard a target as possible. And I look at it as an investment. When I arrived, I increased the number of uniformed police officers here. We added bomb-sniffing dogs. We added, a lot of different tactical teams, snipers, things that if something happens, we can be as responsive as possible, as quickly as possible. And we've got a great security team led by Brian Waterman. many couple decades in the FBI. But it takes a lot of collaboration from a lot of people working very closely together to make sure we make it as safe as it can be.
So that's what happens here in the stadium. But the Dolphins don't just exist in this stadium, not as an organization. You, Steve Ross, the team here, the Dolphins family, you all do a lot of philanthropic work here in the community. Let's talk about that, because a lot of times people think it's about football and soccer and Formula One, but it's very easily about the cycling challenge. It's very easily about F1 in schools. It's very easily about the other things. Let's talk about that some.
Yeah, Steve and I, even in the interview process, I've been here now over 10 years, amazingly, but I remember in the interview process talking to him about that and feeling his passion for being a good community partner and what that means, and being a steward of really what we look at as almost a public trust in terms of, the team. I tell Steve, the team was here before we got here. It'll be here, after we're gone someday or something. And so it really is an opportunity and a privilege to be able to use this platform to do things for other people. Football Unites, I think, is one of the core things that we do, that really started by the late Jason Jenkins, and it's trying to use football to bring people together. And it started out after Ferguson and things that had happened, even before George Floyd and everything, where we were out trying to bring African-American youth and police officers together. But then Jason just took it to this whole different level where, we're bringing people together across, the LGBTQ community, across religions, across, every different walk of life you can imagine, doing cultural tours with players throughout South Florida. And just trying to use football to bring people together. So we're very proud of that. That's still a very important program for us, that we're impacting over 65 different community partners with that program. The Dolphins Cancer Challenge you mentioned, we're now over $75 million we've raised for Sylvester Comprehensive Cancer Center. It's the #1 fundraiser in the NFL. So that's a very important initiative. We keep going. We have the Nat Moore Scholarship Fund, where we provide scholarships to youth, and certainly what we're doing with the STEM program, F1 in schools, and bringing STEM studies in an F1 context to schools. It's really kind of my dream when we brought Formula One here, to that 10, 15, 20 years from now, there's going to be people working in Formula One, and they might be drivers, they might not, but they might be working in marketing or engineering or PR or something else, who are kids that grew up in Miami Gardens, and had we not brought the Formula One race here, wouldn't be working in Formula One someday. So, we're really trying to promote that in schools and have this opportunity where we have kids that grew up right here next to the stadium and the racetrack, learning about F1, loving it, and deciding to make that a career for themselves.
That's amazing. And I can tell you, every laptop that I've given away, every turkey that's been given away, every school, every trip that we've taken kids on, we honor Students of the Week here during the games. All of that is something that started happening while you were here, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Because ultimately, being champions in this stadium is important. Being champions in this community is more important.
Well, and it takes great civic leadership and partnerships with great leaders like yourself to be able to do those things. We can't do them by ourselves. So, thank you, because without your leadership, we wouldn't be able to do those things.
Well, look, everything you do on the field is amazing, but what you do in the community, you're champions in this stadium, you're champions in this community, and that's important. We appreciate you. Thank you. It has been extraordinary talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tom. My good friend, Hard Rock Stadium. We're going to see y'all soon.
World Cup, for sure. I watch sports, but that's the only one sport that I tend to get up in the middle of the night and watch. So World Cup, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
I don't think there's anything better for us than an exciting international sporting event with all eyes of the world on Miami. And the World Cup there's nothing bigger than that.
I'm already waiting to buy the tickets.
Let's welcome now Miss Lisa Ludolf-Perlo, the CEO of the FIFA World Cup, which means she's putting together one of the biggest events in the history of South Florida. Lisa, tell us how you became the head of the CEO of the FIFA World Cup here in Miami-Dade County.
Interesting story. I was with the Royal Caribbean Group for 39 years. I decided to step down from my CEO of Celebrity position in April of 2023, and in July I got a text from someone that I know who said, "Have you heard about this? Would you throw your hat in the ring? We're looking for like a real CEO to do this." And here I am today with you, Chairman Gilbert.
So you went from running the cruise line to bringing one of the biggest sporting events in the history of South Florida here to South Florida, one of the biggest events in the world.
Yeah.
Now, I know why I think Miami-Dade County is the perfect place to host the FIFA 2026 World Cups. Why do you think it is?
Well, it's the reason that I'm here today talking to you, because as I was leaving this crazy position that I was in and thinking about what I was going to do next, this did not ever enter my mind. But it's historic. Never been done before. 7 matches. Miami is like the epicenter of football, soccer. We have Messi, we have Beckham, we have a diverse community, and football brings us all together. And that was just so exciting for me that I couldn't say no to this incredible opportunity to be part of this.
So when you say football, just so everybody clear, that's soccer for us.
F-U-T.
Yes, that's
F-U-T.
Football.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it really is amazing because Miami-Dade County, half the people who live here were born in a different country.
Yes.
And so really, in a lot of ways, the World Cup is coming home to the rest of the world. It really is an amazing thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so what are the biggest, I guess, challenges with bringing something like the FIFA World Cup here to South Florida?
I think it's the way you described it when you were introducing what I was doing. It's never been done before. 7 matches, 40 days, the impact to the community in such a positive way, all of the events, all of the matches. It's going to be something that no one's ever done before, and I'm really excited about it and looking for a lot of help from my friends to pull it off.
Is all about traffic management, and we see during our Basel and other large events that generate a lot of traffic that we need to do a better job on that.
The traffic that happens, it's always been the biggest issue, and the prices obviously, like for everything, is just so expensive.
Definitely a lot of traffic, specifically and on the highway and whatnot.
Traffic. This city needs to figure out a way to handle traffic. It is bad. We need a new highway. The metro needs to connect to the beach finally. Please, for the love of God, figure out the traffic situation.
One of the things that we hear from locals is that one of the challenges is going to be traffic. And, we're here at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, my hometown. And so we host a lot of big events and we manage challenges like traffic. What are you all thinking about with regard to the amount of traffic it's going to be? I mean, you said it, all of those games, that long period of time. What are you seeing from a traffic perspective?
We're planning for that now. Listen, I mean, traffic, it's real. There's not much we can say about it to allay people's fears. But the one thing I will tell you is the team is working really hard. We have engineers, we have transportation experts. We'll be putting together a transportation plan. Brightline will be a part of it. Public transportation will be a part of it. And we will do our absolute best to move people around in the most expeditious way possible while minimizing the negative impact of almost 700,000 people in this area over a little over a month, 5 weeks.
You know what, and I like to tell people that it really is over 5 weeks. So we're not all here at the same time.
Right.
And we've managed big events before, one at a time. We'll manage them one at a time again. The difference is, when all the traffic dissipates now, we'll have between $500 million and $1 billion of economic impact for the community.
That's right.
And so that's something that you really have to, you really have to remember.
That's
now, are there any teasers? Is there something you can say, hey, you know what? You can expect to see this. Are we going to have any stars? Is there something you can tell our viewers about what's going to be happening with the FIFA World Cup?
I can't.
You can't. It's just between us. It's just between us. We won't tell anyone. It's just
Invite me
us.
back. What I will tell you is, ever since I became a part of this unbelievable event, the people that are interested in being a part of it is incredible. It's a who's who list. And because they want to be part of history, they care deeply about this community, whether it's local celebrities that we know, or corporations that are here, or corporations who want to be here because the Miami community is so important to them. And so every day I just get more and more excited about this, even though it's a big challenge and a big logistical event to put together. It's really exciting, and so many people feel the same way.
Well, now it's the FIFA 2026 World, the official long name, Miami-Dade County's World Cup. It's the only one we've ever had.
That's right, and so 7 matches.
It's 7 matches, over a course of more than a month.
Yes.
So, but it's not just the soccer here in Miami Gardens and Hard Rock Stadium. It's not just here. There are going to be things going on throughout the entire time. Let's talk about that a little bit.
So for the we're planning that now because you did ask if I could tell you certain things, and I have to be a little coy on that because we're in the planning stages now. But we look at this 45 days or so as a way to engage the community at multiple events, multiple venues. The Fan Fest is really going to be something extraordinarily special. And from what I understand about the World Cup is these Fan Fests are even more popular than being in the stadium. It's a way for people to watch all the matches that are taking place all over North America. There are 16 cities participating. There are 104 matches going on during these 5 weeks with 48 teams. So people at these Fan Fests are going to be able to see teams from all these different cities and engage with different sponsors and different celebrities and different entertainment. So we're gonna make it great, even if whether you're in the stadium or not.
Someone described soccer to me, football to me, like this. They said the reason why it's the most popular sport in the world is because all you really need is a ball in a field.
That's right.
So it's going to be attractive to a little boy in a country that doesn't have much, but it's also going to attract to millionaires and millionaires in places where there's plenty.
Absolutely.
And so it's really the sport that actually, it crosses every economic divide, every racial divide, every ethnic divide, and it really does connect the world. And I'm so excited to have that World Cup coming to my hometown.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more, and it's another one of the reasons I wanted to do this. I think about the families that are going to be able to participate in this. The reason soccer, football, is the #1 growing sport in the world is because kids are playing it all over the world, and even in the United States. And parents go with their children. They travel everywhere so their kids can play soccer. And I think about how much fun these families are going to have from all these diverse backgrounds that make where we live such an incredibly special place.
Well, thank you for coming to In the 305 with Chairman Oliver Gilbert. And listen, this is going to be, I'm looking forward to the World Cup. I'm looking forward to working with you. This is going to be something very epic, transformative, special for this community.
And I so appreciate that. And I can't tell you how much we appreciate your support, Chairman Gilbert. You've been terrific. Thank you.
What you heard tonight is that the FIFA 2026 World Cup is going to be big in every way for South Florida, from the fan experiences to the actual soccer here at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, to all of the business and the economic impact, the big businesses and small businesses, tourism-oriented businesses and non-tourism-oriented businesses. This is going to be a transformative event for Miami-Dade County. It's special because this is us. A place that really, a lot of us are born in different places. We come and we make Miami-Dade County our home. We're actually welcoming the rest of the world for the World Cup. Now, if you missed any of our past episodes, you can always find them at islandtv.tv. And if you have any questions for me about any topic concerning our residents, don't hesitate to ask. Simply record a video of yourself asking the question and email it to ogvideosub@miamidade.gov. Have a good night, and I'll be seeing you soon.